You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything, except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. Jesus taught that evangelism is primarily a relationship of positive influence. He challenges his disciples to be salt-like. The disciples' mission, like salt, is to enhance the lives of those around them. Our influence comes not from what we say but how we live our life. A relationship of positive influence is firstly authentic. Your relationship to God is the single most important qualifications for becoming a person of influence. Jesus said if we abide in Him, we will bear much fruit. Christians are to be good news before they share the good news. Second, to be a person of influence, it is natural. Instead of being what we are not, a relationship of positive influence reflects our own personality and style. It fits who we are. This puts others at ease and gives us confidence to take risks for God that match who we are. Next, it is personal. When it comes to reaching people for Christ, there are two possible approaches: personal or impersonal. People are becoming immune to many of the less personal methods. Fourth, it is verbal. A relationship of influence involves more than just building friendships and hoping they will work out what makes us tick. Paul says, "But how can they call on Him to save them unless they believe in Him? And how can they believe in Him if they have never heard about Him? And how can they hear about Him unless someone tells them?" For someone to really understand the gospel, it needs to be explained to them. We have to live and explain the gospel. Fifth, it is process-oriented rather than event-oriented. To be effective, we must not inappropriately rush or push a person. It takes time to understand the message, believe it, and act on it. We must patiently bring people along, step by step. Finally, evangelism is team-orientated. God rarely uses just one person to bring someone through the entire process of coming to faith in Him. Different people contribute different help. We need to be supported individually. The message of Jesus is confronting but not condemning. How that message is delivered is critical. The Apostle Paul said, "Speak the truth in love." Saint Francis of Assisi said, "Preach the gospel at all times and when necessary use words." Christ did preach in the streets and hillsides of Palestine, but usually after healing or after gathering people together. We see that Jesus spent a lot of time getting to know people, by eating with them and going to social occasions. He was a great mingler. He called us to follow His example by being salt-like in our relationships with the world.